right, welcome back. This is the Morning Smoke. I'm your host, Mello Miller. This is my co-host, The_Truth 1987. We are concluding, co-host. It's actually been a fun journey. We've had some fun times. We gave some facts. We done gave our opinions and everything in between through 3 previous segments of Black history. We talked about the past. We talked about the present. We talked about events in history, people in history, current people. I want this week, our final week. Let's bring it all together. Let's talk about our future. Let's talk about not Black history, but Black future. Mm-hmm. And I don't know your thoughts. We have not come together. Like some people may think, oh, you guys talk about, hey, this is on the spur of the moment. My co-host sometimes has no idea where I'm going to go. A lot of times, because I'm a rogue agent here. With that being said, co-host, I want to get 2 things from each of us.
Okay.
And where we would like to see improvement or an accomplishment, whatever it is that improves the standing of what is to be the Black future. I'll give one, then I'll throw it to you, give one, and we'll do it like that.
Okay.
For me, it's the purpose I do this show. It's not overplayed to me because it ain't been said enough. And that's hashtag accountability. There are plenty of existential, meaning outward influences that affect the Black community. No one's denying that. But there are times where we have to sometimes point the finger at ourselves, even in those instances, and say, what are we doing to make the situation better versus do what they want us to do and make it worse? It's just that simple. I'm not talking about every incident. For me, there was nothing Trayvon Martin could have done. He was provoked and approached, and he defended his life, and Zimmerman, incorrectly in my opinion, as a grown man attacking a young boy like that, he felt, his life was threatened and he shot the boy to death. Okay. There's no real accountability there for Trayvon. That's all on Zimmerman, and then what proceeded was on the state and so forth, right? So let's talk about what we can change. There are plenty, unlike certain Republican narratives, which I'm not a Republican, I'm far from it. They're like, where's the presence in Chicago? We have plenty of presences in Chicago. We are marching, we are fighting, we're in the schools, there's programs, there's all kinds of different things. Same as Atlanta or any other hotbed where there's an urban presence of a Black concentration. These things are occurring in there. But what we need is the individual. You got to buy into your future. Mm-hmm. We need parenting. We need life choices made before that kid ever comes of age to pull a trigger. Keep the family unit together. I'm going to talk about that later. But I am saying that there are selfishness in our culture that perpetuates a short-lived, fast-paced life instead of a slow and steady, hard-working approach that had got us as far as we have gotten today. This is the accountability I'm talking about. You think that your boys, your young men would be out there killing each other if we really instilled these type of values in them? And I ain't even talking about religion. I'm talking about basic human decency. Preaching a future. I'll tell you something. I have a lot of siblings, but that's a different story for a different day. I have a sister who she always lived in hood areas. Always. Kids was always around that mess. But when I went to visit her, when you walked in her house, man, she looked like she lived in a palace because she had class. She had dignity. She didn't let her surroundings define her or her future. You do not have to succumb to what is around you, the despair, the poverty. You can still live with standards. This is the thing I want to see with my Black people. And yes, I am attacking many of you that are listening, and I do not care. Because if you're offended by what I'm saying, you're part of the problem. Stop co-signing despair. Stop co-signing personal choices like it wasn't a choice. Don't you think there's a reason? Many of these young men, many I've worked with here in Indianapolis when I was younger, they just don't see a future in 5 years. They just don't see a future in 10 years. So when you have something like that, what are you going to do with your life? You're going to live fast. You're going to live free. It's in our rap music. It's in our movies, and it's in our families. That's what I got, co-host. And again, I'm just giving you a hint. My next thing is going to be about the family. That's why I don't want to go too far into on it. But before you give yours, what are your thoughts on mine?
I mean, you're 110% correct. And I'll be honest, I don't have to give two because both of them are in the same thing. You actually went down the exact road that I was going to go down, and we can stay on that road. And that's just an innuendo of me going into my second thing to kind of elaborate more on that accountability. Um, Black man, there's no excuse for you to, be the way that you are as of today. We had a show a few weeks back where we had, we were lighthearted about it, had some jokes about some stereotypes of the black person, things of that nature. But if you put that on the side, put the joking aside, it shouldn't be a stereotype. It should be a stereotype that the black man is never around for their kids. It shouldn't be a stereotype that the black man won't work and he's lazy, this and that and the other. It shouldn't be a stereotype that the black man is always killing other black men. Like these are things that we got to do better in the future in order for people to take us seriously. That's why we have to work so extremely hard in corporate America when we're out there because people don't take us seriously. And these are the reasons why they don't take us seriously. These simple things, being in the home. If you made the kid, it's your kid. It's your responsibility. Take care of them. Do what you got to do. Now, we're not saying that it's not going to be hard. It is hard. It's absolutely 100% hard. But it's also hard when you go out there, or it should be hard. It should be hard enough when you're thinking about going to take someone else's life. Same type of hard. It's hard to do these things. It should be at least. Sometimes it's easier for most, but it shouldn't be. Either way it goes, it's still a decision that you're making. It's a decision that you're you're making the decision to do the wrong, make the decision to do the right. And I think that's what we need to really focus on further. I mean, there's nothing else beyond that. Is we have to be accountable for what we're doing, in order to eliminate, the other, nationalities looking at us crazy in a certain way and treating us a certain way and this, that, and the other. You got to do the basic things first in order for that to happen. And these are just basic things. These are 100% basic things to do. It's funny. Another stigma, about with black people and their attitudes and how they act and this, that, and the other. I went out of town recently and we were at a McDonald's and go up to the McDonald's and get greeted with at the window. You drive through the window or whatever. There was such a pleasant Caucasian person at the window, just so nice and pleasant to talk to and asking about your day. And they took pride in their job, even though it's McDonald's, but they took pride in what they did. Flip the reverse, go to a McDonald's here back home, and I get somebody that is completely rude. And guess what, co-host? Guess what color they were? African American. So I mean, and it's not the only instance. That's just one that I'm thinking of here that just happened in the matter of 2 days, like literally 2 days. It's just unfortunate that people um you know have this sort of stigma on us, and it's looked at as such with every black person. Like every black person has a look or an eye or anything of that nature when they walk out because of certain people who don't want to be accountable for the way that they act or the way that they do or the way that they live, whatever it may be. So honestly, I don't have a second thing. I think that's the major thing that needs to happen going forward for our future to be bright, is being accountable of the little things that you need to be doing from day to day. So
Well, part of they're intertwined in many respects, but family is my second thing. And what
Mm-hmm.
I mean by this, it's real simple. This is a backlash in many ways. A lot of the culture today is city girls this, I'm a boss bleep.
Yep.
We're leading our black women to be independent, masculine, pursue something that isn't conducive for the man that they want.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to sound like a red pill here, but I'm going to.
It's the
Whether
truth.
you're watching Fresh and Fit, or you're watching Andrew Tate, or you watch the late Kevin Samuels, what made it such a vitriol to so many women because they didn't like the accountability part of what they were hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Their mindsets were completely opposite, and they don't like people telling them their mindsets is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just think about it. Let's run a thought process here. Fresh and Fit does this every week, but to steal from them, you've got a woman here, and a 30-year-old woman, got a kid from a previous situation. She thinks that she's a queen because she's been told it her whole life. She thinks should be put on this pedestal. And she has her idea of this dream man that she wants, 6 foot or taller, 100K more a year, no kids, even though she got kids. You hear this all the time,
Yep.
right? Want to be this and that, and he has to be a certain age range. And then if you plug in if they want a black man, that even shrinks the pool down more. Sorry to tell it to the world. Your world may be surrounded by black folks, but the United States, we're only 13%, and that's both men and women.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really less than that. We're 12 and change. So the point
Mm-hmm.
is, you get this woman, and then she wants this, right? And then you think about the man that she wants. What would make him choose you, sweetie? You think that he wants a woman that don't want to take on his problems, but he should take on hers
Exactly.
like a kid?
Exactly.
He should give you the ring and the last name and his resources and his time and his effort for something that you clearly have given away for never asking that from other people.
Mm-hmm.
You done racked up all these bodies. Oh, I know it's your body, your choice. Guess what though? Actions have consequences. You can't do whatever you want and it not matter. If you were trying
Mm-hmm.
to attract other women that don't care about bodies, then go that route.
Correct.
But if you want to attract this type of man, he doesn't want to have shared this woman who he's going to invest in and all this. Then everyone has had it. Would you co-host pay? This is one of their analogies. Pay for a Lamborghini full price with 300,000 miles on it?
Absolutely not.
What sense do that make? Does he want his wife to be posting this history on OnlyFans or Instagram or whatever it is?
Correct.
It's not about trust, ladies. It's not about saying, "Oh, my man needs to trust me. I'm not going to cheat or anything." You are putting yourself for other men to have access to you in a provocative, sexualized manner.
Correct.
And all this man of your dream want is what? Sexual exclusivity. He wants you to be in your feminine. He wants you to be his peace. I hear too many black women talking about I need a man that can handle me. Baby, he don't want to handle you. He shouldn't
Correct.
have to handle you.
That's absolutely correct.
When he comes home, it should be his sanctuary. He should not have to argue and be in these internal battles. Got the bigger I can't say on air. So when I say this about women, trust me, just like a lot of y'all come for those platforms, in this situation, co-host, what I'm saying to you is the women have to take a role in letting go of this failed feminism in which you want equality, yet you want a traditional man.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to be a traditional woman, which has nothing to do with feminism, it has to do with being feminine, then you have to let go of that equality thing because it's not about who's this or that. In reality, men are superior in some things and women are superior in others. And what makes them work together is what is proof in my own home. I praise my wife. She's a true epitome of a feminine energy that works with my masculinity, and she does nothing but prop me up and support me, and I do nothing but praise her and thank her for all that she does for me. And it's one of those things. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I was married before, co-host. You was witness to it. My previous situation wasn't like that, but I was the same person.
Yeah.
I was willing to provide, willing to go out there and work 60, 70 hours, take care, and still be there for my kids, be there for. But there's a reason why it failed. There's a reason why it failed. And it's because me as the man allowed a lot of things that was not feminine, but it's not necessarily the person. She was who she was.
Yeah.
I was very just inexperienced in that. Didn't realize that what happens in year 19 of your life matters in year 30 of life,
Mm-hmm.
because that's accountability.
Mm-hmm.
When I say this about the woman, there's plenty to say about the man, but the point is when we go back to roles that complement each other, you think about the partner that you want, you have to be the person that they want. Stop thinking just about what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Too many women say, accept me as who I am. Why? Are you that all that matters? Sure, you can, as Kevin Samuels, you can get a dog and die alone if you want to hold out for that 1% of 1% of man that's willing to take you on and all your problems and issues because you ain't worked on it yourself. Or you can seek the probability and the majority that would fit this, lower your standards to what you are, the life you created for yourself, or teach your daughters, because it may be too late for your generation. Teach your daughters to grow up with this mindset, to preserve themselves, have self-respect. Don't give things away for free when later you're going to ask somebody for the full down payment to get the same thing. What sense did that make?
Yeah.
Co-host, that's that. I could go into that. What are your thoughts on the family? How would you like to see it improve? Because I gave you a glimpse of what it is for me.
No, I mean, I think he pretty much as it's funny. If I can use a church analogy, you have ministers that give remarks, and you have that one minister that goes before you, and he tears the whole sanctuary down. The whole everybody's laid out, and then you got the minister that has to go up behind that person to try to give remarks. Yeah, I ain't got nothing. You already did all that. But I will say this. You're 100% correct. I think there is roles in every family. Each family needs to be accountable for that role, and each person needs to accept that role as well too. So to go back to your point, the woman needs to accept the man being the leader, the head, the person in that family. Don't try to take his role, because you got your own role to worry about. Don't take his role. Let him do what he's supposed to do, and you, as the woman, need to do what you're supposed to do. Be his peace, be his, his confidant, be his, his helper, his this, that, and the other. If you're a biblical person, it talks about this all in the Bible about what the woman's role is supposed to be when it comes to being with a man. So if you are a biblical person, I'll be happy to have that conversation with you as well too. But definitely, I 100% agree.
I'm gonna say this,
So
co-host. 90% in my marriage, my wife lets me lead 90%, and the 10% she throws in there to, of course, like
yeah,
a suggestion.
as as your helper, yes,
Yes, as my helper. Even kings have advisors.
absolutely.
When it comes to that maternal thing between her and the kids and all that, this is real talk. I let her guide that about 90% because I see she on the right path.
Yeah.
That 10% that I course correct, when I see something needs a little bit firmer hand.
Mm-hmm.
When I see something, I'm like, and I joke with her a lot, people, you're hugging that boy a little too much now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Giving him a little too much love, and he needs to toughen up for the world that's going to face this black man,
Mm-hmm.
right? Those are real realities, and we joke and we tease, and she knows, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to get that firm hand. Yes, he may cry when I talk to him firm. Let him stand in that. That's where you
Correct.
learn.
Correct.
So anyway, I did want to close with something fun like we have in other things, because I'm about gloom and doom today, this episode, it seems, and But to be honest with you, those are things that I feel like the black future needs to include and
You
fight
got
for.
you got on black Air Forces right now?
Listen,
I feel like you do.
on a lighter note, close with something positive. I mean,
White
all
Air
that's positive. Something a little bit funnier.
White Air
Uh,
Forces now. Okay, let's go.
yeah. We're talking about black comedians. Well, this is crucial in the black community. This is a debate of all debates in barbershops and this and that, right?
Yep.
One of many. Give me your top four in order, because it's time to man up.
I know you wanted one through four. I
Yes,
wouldn't.
I do.
I'm already ready for it. I'm already ready. Number
Yeah.
one
What
for
you got?
me. Number one for me is Bernie Mac. It's number one. Number two for me is Dave Chappelle. Number three is Chris Tucker. Number four is Cat Williams. It's my four.
Okay. That's for the young people out there. For the much more mature audience. My
AKA
number.
older. Keep going.
What's that?
I said AKA older, but keep going.
The palette of comedy is more mature. I'll leave it at that. Um,
Older. Keep going.
Number four, Richard Pryor. You just can't go. He probably cussed too much for you. Maybe that's it, because he was the king of all that silliness. Number three, Eddie Murphy. I'm sorry, he is a true goat in this business. He carried the torch for too long to not be recognized. Number two is where me and him always differ. Chris Rock. The numbers back him. The sales back him. The specials back him.
I
He
think
is
we
a
I think we had a conversation about just because you got numbers and sales don't necessarily mean the quality. Never mind. That's another conversation for another day. See how that comes back around, co-host, when you bring up stuff like
You
that.
remember
Never
when
mind.
you was saying,
No,
"Oh, but the sales mean
yeah,
okay."
right. Yeah, you brought this
So
up.
either the
Yeah,
sales mean or they don't
I
mean.
mean, you said it, not me. I'm just
I
saying.
just wonder which one it is for you this time.
I mean, hey, you said it, not me.
And number one, this is controversial for me because I took a change on this. Is Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle is just comedic genius,
Yeah,
pure and simple. He can do this from the skits to the stand-ups to. It's just something that he has it, man. He has it more than I've ever seen anyone have it before, and he's special. Next co-host, people, you weigh in on that. I know you guys think my list is better. Just put it in the comments. It's fine.
that,
Tell
that,
tell
can,
me, DM me.
you get to,
Don't
can you get to the
hurt us.
other part? Because boy, you just like a reverend. Get to the point. All this ad libbing and stuff. Get to it. Come on.
DM me. Don't hurt his
Hey,
feelings, America.
hey.
Next week I'll tell you what they say. The next thing I have for you, we got 2 minutes left.
Let's get to it.
Your top four black artists
Yeah,
or groups
I
of
got you.
all time for you.
I got you. And I had to break it down into genres in the black. What's the name? So this is how I did it. So in gospel, because I listen to gospel. Gospel is my number one genre. Um, my favorite gospel artist is Fred Hammond. If you know who he is also a part of a group called Commission back in the day. For my old school gospel people, I love that group as well too. But he is my favorite gospel artist. For R&B, my favorite R&B group is Blackstreet. So I love Blackstreet, Teddy Riley, and all them. Love them. So that's for pop. Well, I gotta bring the king of pop, which is none other than Michael Jackson. That is my favorite pop person. And for just regular rap, so for hip hop, things of that nature. This is going to be controversial for you because I know what you're going to do when I say it. My number one rap artist, because he brought me through some tough times in his heyday. That's Kanye West. So that is my favorite rap artist. That's before he went crazy. Now he's not my favorite now. But
Well, I asked you who your favorite is, and you still included him. So we'll leave it at that.
I got to
Hashtag
because
accountability, folks. The
I got
man
to.
just
I got to. He was all through my high school career. Hey,
he's
that's
got a
who I was.
schizophrenic patient, and he's
That's
got
who I
a
was. That's who I
child
was.
molester.
That's
Okay,
who I was. That's who I was. Jamming throughout school. So
that explains a lot for you. Now,
well,
to a real list.
Okay, go ahead,
To,
old guy.
to a real list. I
Yeah, old
like
guy.
my number 4. Look, is The Weeknd. There, that sound and
Oh,
sultriness
oh,
is
you keep
just
adding
great for
me,
me.
and this man is a bona fide drug head. But keep going, keep going.
Drugs aren't
Feel my
children.
face. Feel my face ain't about a woman, but keep going, keep it moving.
It's controversial. The next one is New Edition.
That's a good pick.
That's number 3. Number 2 is Prince. Absolutely. Yes.
Nothing against Prince, but if we talking about some, funny, never mind. I ain't going to even get into it today. Keep going.
Never mess with a child. Number 1.
You mess with boys, but keep going.
Rumor. Number 1 is Sade. Just the epitome of woman. The softness, the delicateness. Talking about carrying you through sometimes, boy. Just put that playlist on and just play, and you be better for it. That's my top 4. It's an adult list.
I put her on. I'll probably go to sleep. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, but take us home, man. We out of here.
Sleep your whole life. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening with us this week. We definitely appreciate it. We will be back next week for another full episode for you. We will be here on JQLM Radio from 10 to 11 a.m. We're also on Spotify, Anchor.fm, and, of course, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at the Morning Smoke Podcast. Definitely come see us there. But until next week, we are out of here. Peace out.
Peace.